Okay. My topic is military recruiting in public high school, and my main claim is that military branches who recruit in high schools more often than not provide a deceiving future for young students who join the military straight from high school and can negatively affect their lives. The first of my secondary claims is how young students are typically unsure of their futures. And a few examples of this would be things like when the Huffington Post suggests that about 65% of high school students are unsure of what they want to do after high school. That according to an article in education.com, 1 in 3 students in college, no, 1 in 3 college applicants are unsure of their major choice. And that according to Gail B. Roman, an author from NBC News, he suggests that more than 50% of college students switch majors before their sophomore year. The next of my secondary claims is that the military is generally not satisfactory to most who join. An article on ehow.com entitled Recruiting Lies versus Military Truth suggests that 67% of military veterans were unsatisfied and misinformed of their experience in the military. Rod Powers from About.com suggests that 40% of recruits who enlist in the military today will not complete their full term of service. He also states that about 40% of veterans since 1911 think that life after the military was very difficult to adjust to. The last of my claims is, of my secondary claims, is that the military recruits give a false interpretation of military life to those young students in high schools. This was shown in a great example by ABC News. It was a project entitled "Bad Recruiting" by Rod Powers. They got plenty of different high school students from big city school districts like New York, New Jersey, Miami, etc. And they armed them with hidden cameras as the recruiters were trying to persuade students to join their military branch. And what the cameras got was a surprising amount of falsity. One recruiter was filmed telling the applicant that his chances of being deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan after basic training was virtually impossible. And mind you, this project was what takes place in 2008. Another recruiter even said that the Army, stopped sending people to Iraq anymore. And another recruiter was mentioning how you can quit the Army if you so choose to, or if you didn't like it. Obviously, that's not true. If you leave the Army for just not liking it, that's a dishonorable discharge. The fact that recruiters have the opportunities to mislead these vulnerable youth of the public high schools is just unjust. Military applicants must know that they're signing what they're signing up for, and figure out for themselves if it's the right life choice or not, and not be misled to a forced military job. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, phrasing the proposition is complicated. It's awkwardly phrased, although ultimately I do think that your point is clear. There's no roadmap for the supporting structure in the speech, but you do signpost the points as you get to them. Those supporting points, though, are not really phrased as declarative sentences. Sometimes they're descriptive information, and we're having to make the inference as to what the argument is, although I thought that you were better on that on the second and the third points. There's good data early on about some problems problems with how people feel about their service and about their recruitment. I think that data needed to be developed a little bit more and explained more clearly. You give us a percentage and you give us a site that talks about that. That's the key piece of information in your argument that says that people are unsatisfied with this relationship, and there's not much information about it. It's just that one statistic. The data that says people are uncertain as to what they want to do, I'm not sure how that ties into your argument. That came earlier, and there may be an explanation about how you see it fitting in, but I didn't think it was very clear from the argument that you presented. Some of the information on that second and third point that talks about the way that the recruiting is done inappropriately, I think is interesting information, and I think it would be stronger if you could present it with direct quotes instead of what appears to be some paraphrasing on some of these things. I don't know if you were looking at the videos and then trying to summarize what's in the video, or if somebody did this video research and then wrote an article about it. It's a little bit unclear here, and if you can take something that's quoted in directly and keep it in context, I think it'll be a little bit stronger. Very limited audience contact. You seem kind of disinterested in the subject. I think you need to look at us and be a little bit more engaging, and I think your argument will come across more effectively then. All right, thank you.